Hello, Waswere here back with another video, and today we're doing a bank video. I wanted to give a look into an Endgame PvMers Bank and see just how much GP I have. The last bank video I did was about a year ago. It was like a year, 15 months ago, as it was in the fall of 2020. And my total bank value there was about 15 to 20 bill. And let's just say it's gone up quite considerably since then. Here is my glorious bank. First, we have the Infinity tab, which is kind of my, not necessarily junk tab, but tab I don't pay too much attention to, but I don't really want to destroy these items. I have my yellow party hat placeholder. I also have a golden party hat placeholder and the augmented Guildmasters Tony's Matic placeholders, just reminding me of some of the items I have. I highly suggest that people do that just in case. Then I have the Trim Comp cape here, which is another reminder of the grind I went on. Then these next two items are pets. Well, this one isn't a pet, but it's the same icon as the Vitalis pet. So I like having it in here to trick people when they see my bank that I actually have Vitalis in the bank. And then the Yakimaru's helmet I'm saving in the bank to claim Golden Reaper so I can do it as a party instead of just at once. Then we have some pretty basic stuff with like the RAF, XP Scroll, Codex. These are just, things I don't necessarily need anymore, but would be a pain in the ass to get back. Our second tab is our farming tab. It used to be much larger with like 20, 30, 40, 50 animals in here, but I'm 200 mil farming and I'm done the breeding log, so it's just a bit of a remnant. I have these leftover name and trade rerollers just in case I ever need to do more animals, but it's not worth my effort at this stage. And the agility tab is very much the same. It just has the codex pages and the Heaven Chorus multipliers, which I've been stacking up from thieving in the maw over the years, but have never really used. This is my quest non-destroy item tab. These are things that will not see use for potentially years, but destroying them is just a pain. Like, I'm not going to go re-get Void if they somehow make Void good again. Same with like these bullseye lanterns. It's just a pain to get back. And clues are something I'm not a big fan of. I got, what is that, like 500 total clues in here, and I've done like 40 of them. But as the big book gets me more clues, and maybe when I'm done with Golden Reaper, I'll get more into it. Then some other sort of junk that's annoying to get back, like the Prifdinous robes. I have my corrupted ore stack from all the mining, 143k. And nothing really has changed in this tab since the last video. I would say if you probably went and looked at my old bank video, it's probably virtually identical except for the clues are now in the clue carrier. This is my microtransactions tab. Basically all microtransaction items that I don't need anymore are in here. So all the skilling dummies, the Proteans, the divine locations, the dwarven toolboxes, the fish extractors, all that sort of stuff that you get from Treasure Hunter. The only thing I actively use are the combat training dummies, which you need multiple of them for a hard mode Rago kill. So they're valuable to have because you can bring 10 of these and they take up one inventory slot. This is my Herblore tab. It's not as pretty as most people's Herblore tab, as I just kind of throw the unfinished potions as junk down here and mainly only focus on the first 2.5 rows for what I'm actively using. I have all my incense sticks, I have my blessed flask, which I fill with extreme potions, and all my food on this first row. Then in the second row, we start getting into like the potions I'm actually going to use, like the power bursts, the brews, the restores, and then each different overload has its own slot here. So we go Holy Aggro Overload, Supreme, Elder Overload Salve as my different types of overloads. I pretty much exclusively use Elder Overload Salves or Holy Aggro Overloads. This is for AFKing, and then this is for actually PvMing. Then for Adrenaline Pots, I originally was using replenishments, but I've since upgraded it and now only use Adrenaline Renewals, either 4 doses for things where I only need under 4 doses, and then a 6-dose flask for when I need more than 4, like Virago or Zuck. And then moving on is just all the half-used potions, and every once in a while I go ahead and just decant them. Like, for example, if I run out of spirituals, which I have one left here, I'll go ahead and just decant all these spirituals down into 6 doses, and then I'll get another like 500 or 600 back. And then the bottom of this tab is just supplies to make more untradeable potions like Arbuck, Adrenaline Crystals, Dinosaur Roar. This is my runes tab. I'm kind of proud of this one. I got on the water rune bandwagon really early, and I bought like 3.5 million water runes. I've used a little over 1 million since then, but I bought them for 100 GP each or below that, and they're now 182 each. I like to keep a healthy amount of runes just so I can always quickly fill up my pouches. I'd say my stack that I will probably run out first of all of these is my blood runes, as I only have 100k. I do have 500 nature runes, but that's only used for Entangle, and I don't Telos, so I don't really use Entangle. Now this is the pièce de résistance. This is probably why you're all here. This is my gear tab. I think this tab alone is worth 30 bill. It's just pretty insane what we have here. Start off, I have all the untradeable stuff like Dominion Mines, Dread Nips, Death Touch Darts, and the Zuck Cape. And then we move on to our melee. I have melee first, so we have all the different melee weapons I could ever use. I think I have like 10 of them, but the main big ones are the T95 Langs, which are my main weapons, and then I have a T92 Kopesh as an offhand for flanking. Then I have ZGS for the ZGS spec, and then I have the Spear for bleeds, the Masterwork Spear of Annihilation, so bleeds last 50% longer. Pterosaur Maul whenever that's needed, though that's not really useful in the future, as now the T95 Zuck Sword exists, and they patched the Oversight with it. And then for Slayer, I have a Noxus Scythe and the Lanikia's Spear. I use this whenever I have 100% accuracy with the Spear, and then otherwise I use the Scythe for AoE. The only thing I'm missing weapons-wise is the X-Kill Sword from Zuck, which I haven't bought yet, though I am stacking up the T95 pieces in my loot tab in the full chest. So eventually we will make that. Then I have Masterwork, Trim Masterwork, and then I have Malevolent Greaves for melee Telos if I ever decide to learn that. Has Clear-Headed and Turtling on it, so helps with cating with the defender. Then normal stuff, Bandos for low-level Slayer stuff like Demon Slayer. And then a Calphite Defender to help me build and act as a shield. That is pretty much all the melee gear, and then it's time to move on to the range gear. I have a Saren Godbow, I have a Hex Hunter Bow, I have Blightbounds, and an Offhand Ascension as my range weapons. I also have Elite Serenic with the best in slot perks, and then I have Acto. But really where range comes in is the amulets. I have a Darkbow Amulet, I have another Saren Godbow Amulet, then I have an Essence of Finality with Eldritch Crossbow. So these 3 amulets alone are 6 bill, and then I have another Saren Godbow, which is like another 2 bill, and then the Blightbounds, which is another 2.5 bill. So like 10 bill in range weapons. Then I have all the host of different ammo I would ever need, from Dragonbane, Dragonstone, Rubies, Onyxes, Hydrixes, Blight Bolts if I'm just doing AFK Slayer, and then Blackstone Arrows, Splintering Arrows, and Deathspore Arrows. I also have a Pernix Quiver, which increases my maximum hit with ranged attacks by 4% when targets have low HP, and I can also store both arrows and Hydrix but criminal bolts in it. So what I do is, like, if I have the Pernix Quiver equipped and I equip a Saren Godbow, it'll automatically swap over to the Blackstone Arrows, so I don't need to worry about ammo swapping as well to apply Blackstone Arrow stacks. Our Mage Gear is also pretty good, pretty much best in slot mage, as we have Praisals as our main 2-handed weapon. We have a Orb of the Cyber Elders as a roaming swap. We have a Singularity as a flanking swap, Inquisitor for where the special attack works, but it's only 1% extra damage, and I'm just way too lazy to bring it anywhere. And then the most expensive item in my entire bank, the Fractured Staff of Armadillo, which I dyed Barrows. This alone is 6 bill, so quite a lot in here. It also has the best in-slot perks. Then for Planted Feet, I use a Ancient Lantern, so it can act as a shield, and my Planted Feet swap in one inventory slot. Armor-wise, I have everything as well. I have both a T90 shield and a Spirit shield. Then I have Elite Tectonic also perked out. I have Anima Core of Saren for some high-level Slayer stuff where you need a little bit more armor. Subjugation for the really AFK Slayer. And then full Crypt Bloom for whenever I need it. I mostly use the Crypt Bloom for basing AOD and at Zuck. And then Acto is still in my bank. I just kind of have it in here, but I haven't used Mage to Acto since I bought Crypt Bloom. For rune pouches, I have 3 Grasping rune pouches as there's only 12 combat runes. So I have Cosmic, Death, Earth, and Chaos in the first one, Water, Fire, Air, Soul in the second one, and then Body, Astral, Blood, Law in the third one. I also have this small rune pouch, which is untradeable, so I haven't got rid of it, but I haven't figured out a good use case for it yet, because I can just bring 2 grasping pouches if I need more than 4 runes. Now is my Essence of Finality amulet time. I have a total of 7 of them. I mentioned 3 of them earlier, the Dark Bow, the Saren God Bow, and the Eldritch Crossbow, but I also have the Statius Warhammer, which is yellow. I have the Dragon Claws, which is red. I have the Gothic Staff, which is the base color, and then I have the Armadillo Battle Staff, which is black. The only thing I'm really missing Essence of Finality-wise is the X-Kill Sword. You want to put that in an Essence of Finality as well, so you can use the Masterwork Spear of Annihilation to get the special attack lasting 50% longer. So that's another 3 bill I have to spend. And then after that, I have like kind of junk amulets that I haven't used in a while, but I don't want to destroy, like the Blood Amulet of Fury. Then we have the last kind of slot to go over is our pocket slot, where we have the 5 god books all illuminated. Then we have the grimoire and the 4 different scriptures. Between these 10 items, I always have something I can bring with me. And that's basically the entire gear tab. It's basically best in slot gear, apart from a physical ECB, a physical X-Kill Sword, and a Essence of Finality X-Kill Sword. We have best in slot gear here. Next up is the summoning tab. I've stocked up about 80,000 crimsons and 60,000 blues, and then I turned my imp on to taking away all the charms just so I don't have to bother with them clogging up my inventory. And then I have every kind of relevant familiar I would end up using between Beaver, Bunyip, Nightmare Muspa. These Steel Titans can probably go. Same with the Pack Yaks. And I have Pack Mammoths, Abyssal Titans for rune crafting, Arctic Bears for Crosus, my Nihils in case I need accuracy, and then Ripper Demons and Calgarian Demons depending on what I'm currently doing. Next tab is probably the most expensive tab in the bank. It is my loot tab. This is the Golden Reaper tab. I've sold a lot of items, but I still have a lot of things in here. And if you price check this whole thing, it's about 25 bill, thereabouts. But I'm not going to go through that process right here. But if you want to pause here, you can look and try to find some really large stacks like these 700k incandescent energies, which I've gotten all from PVM. After that, we have the Archaeology Tabs. It's just kind of a holdover from when I got 200 mil. And they seem to be releasing dig sites which have trim and comprex with them. So I've kept this tab here so that when those updates come out, I can quickly just boom, 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 equip my archaeology outfit and go to town. This tab is a kind of a weakling tab. It's my Crystal Shapeshifter tab, but I haven't gone there in over a year. So maybe I should get rid of this tab, but I don't need the extra spaces right now. Then I have my invention tab. I have all my gizmos in here when I have the need to make them, and the XP capacitors when I need them, and then all my like semi-good gizmos that I don't want to destroy are in my small gizmo bag. And then the last tab is the remnants of my trim tab. This is all I have left over that I haven't used yet, but I still want to keep on me. Like I have this volcanic trapper on me for Croesus, same with the Gatherer's Cape and all the tools alongside them. But that's my bank. It's pretty good. I like it. It feels like it's come a long way since this time last year. And despite having this like 300 size bank tab, I still have my bank down to 928 total spaces. So that's nice for clutter. In terms of our actual wealth, I'm going to open up the wealth evaluator here so we can see how it compares to this time last year. And I'm at 45.3 bill on the wealth evaluator, and I think it was like 16-ish on the last bank video. So we've upped this by 30 bill. And you also need to take into consideration the fact that the fractured staff of Armadillo is way over GE, and just a lot of weapons aren't properly wealthed out once they're augmented. And I tested it earlier, and I got about 10 bill worth of items in my inventory, but the inventory was only about 500 mil. So we can roughly assume that my wealth evaluator is about 10 bill higher than what it says here. So my total bank is just about 55 bill. How much progress have you made this year? How big is your bank in comparison to where it was this time last year? What are you working towards and what are your goals? Leave a comment down below. Thank you for a great 2021. This is probably going to be my last video of the year. I have vacation from the 24th to the 4th from work, and normally when I'm off work I try to dive into RuneScape more, make more videos and all that sort of stuff, but I decided that this time I'm going to take a break just to reset myself and give myself a proper vacation. So thank you for a great year, and looking forward to 2022 and an even better year for the channel. I'll catch you in the next one.